Fred Williams, XL Prime, are dates within 3 days of a specific date. Here, I have a combination. I'm going to throw in a mandatory, and then there's some voluntary. The write-up here is going to focus on the last 6 days. In other words, from this date, just identify the last six days. 2 approaches with the same results. Then, as an option, I threw this in. Dates within, and this is going to change, F9, are dates within 5 days of this date. And if so, just put a true. So basically, you're going to look and say 416 is 416 within 6 days of these dates, and it's true. Otherwise, we're looking at find the last five rows, okay? Why? Well, there's just a combination. This first, and then I don't have a write-up here. All we're doing is looking at an AND statement. B5 greater than C2, which is going to be 4/16/2029, minus dates within. Minus dates. Here we have dates within 5, minus 5, okay, C3. All we're going to do is go 4/16 minus 5. So C2 is C2 greater than this number here. This number here, it's going to be a true or false, okay, F9. And we have this date, B5 greater than 4/2, and B5 less than C2. And in the end, you can do the math. It's that simple. All we're going to do is copy this down and get a true or false. Over here, we want to find the last 5 days. And here we have row minus row index plus 1 row greater than row production. Here is our write-up, flagging the last n rows in a list as possible using an assist column with a formula based on the row and row functions. We're going to use the formula I just mentioned, our name range, production 800, which is going to be B6 to B16, and our dates within C3. Our name range is going to be B5 to B16, and our dates within is going to be C3. The formula is derived from a formula that calculates the current row in a list, current row. And that's going to be row minus row production 8, name range production 800, 1, 1. That is a normal format, and then there should be an index in there. There should be an index. So what we're going to do, we retrieve the current row in the worksheet, then subtract the first row number plus 1 from the list. The outcome is an adjusted row number beginning with 1. Index is one way to retrieve the first cell in a given list. Row index production equals first cell. Here's the layout. We can read it or we can see it. Here, I broke it down. Row, this row is going to equal 5. It's going to equal 5. Here's our formula. I'll just grab the whole thing. Edit, copy, paste, break that, enter. So now we have row. And row is equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Row does what? Returns the number of a cell reference. Minus row, and then we have this index. We have this index, and it's going to say production 800, 111. It's going to be 5. You want to see it? You can do that. Row index, here, F9. It's just going to reference this date. 47, so row, what number is that? Row, this is going to be row F5, F9. Going to give us row, well, it should be 5. All right, it's going to be 5. So we have 5 minus 5. 5 minus 5 equals 0. Then we have 1. We need a starting point. our second argument, rows production, 800, rows production minus dates. Well, we'll just go rows production is equal to 12. Rows. Notice rows. We're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See right here? Row minus rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here, rows production is 12. Okay, we have rows 12 minus dates 2. In this case, it's going to be, here it was 3, 15. At the time of this writing, C3 equaled 15. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take the total, we have 5 minus 5 plus 1. So we have 1 is 1 greater than -3. True. We're going to do that all the way down. We're going to look for any trues. Here we have 2, and we're going to find a true. We're going, is 11 greater than 10? What am I talking about here? We have rows production minus date 10. Then we have this rows, the first section. So is 1 greater than 10? No. Is 2 greater? No. So on and so forth. Okay, got that? And as we move down, we're going to see trues and false based on what? This 3. Break it down. Here, I just took a shortcut. I put row minus 4. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to go row minus 4. And because that's going to give us our starting date, greater than row production. And then what do we have? Row, look over here, row production minus dates within. What's this first part? Row. This is what we have here. Row minus row D5 plus 1. Isn't that kind of what we have here? If we get rid of that date, we're not focusing on the date so much here. We're just looking at this row deal. Anytime this column is less than this column, it's going to be false. And then once we see a number greater than this number, it's going to be true. Okay? Break it down piece by piece. The write-up, it's pretty weak. Sorry about that. And then there's an example if this was a table. The best thing to do, as I said, is just break this down piece by piece and get a feel. Get a feel from the difference between row and rows. Until you get that down, you're gonna keep running and bumping over that hurdle or tripping or what have you. Just work this thing out and step away when you are overburdened and then come back to it. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.